Welcome back to the Pen and Inkwell. Right, a new pen brand for me. Well, no, it's not a new pen brand for me. I have used the pens before. I've had the Basic and I used an Emotion before, but it's the first time I've had a look at the Ambition. So what I'm talking about is a pen brand called Faber Castell. So this is another German pen brand. I do like my German pens. I like Lamy. I get on very well with Kaweco, and I wanted to have a look at the Faber Castell. And also, you know, people have asked me how the nibs compare, you know, from one to the other, and they are very similar in far as line width is concerned, and how they sort of, you know, and how they write. But I took the opportunity, thank you very much to Cult Pens, who sent this to me to review. I purchased this off them, but they are very gracious, and I received a slight discount on that. But this is, you know, going to be my opinion only for this, and really this is a limited edition or a special edition that they've just brought out, and this is the Blue Ocean, they call this, the Ambition pen, and this is the Blue Ocean version. I'll give you a quick look. So this is the box, but I'll give you a quick peek before we sort of go ahead with it. So this is it. So this is the Faber Castell Ambition in Blue Ocean. Beautiful looking pen, absolutely beautifully stunning pen to look at. I'm going to go into this in far more detail now, and you can have a look at it closer up. I'll talk about the nib and the nib options, and I'll talk about the materials, and you know, and how I find it. And I hope you join me in just 2 seconds. Welcome back. Right, so we're looking at the Faber Castell Ambition fountain pen. So this is how this arrives, in this really decorative, pretty looking box. Faber Castell since 1761 written on the top here, and their logo, and we have bridge on here. Pretty looking box, I suppose. And then it has this, this is actually leather, it has this drawer that you pull out here. That actually, before we do that, there's another box within this. So we take this box out. So that's just the sleeve. And here we have just a plain white Faber Castell since 1761. There is nothing more to that other than just a white box. And this is where this drawer comes out. And in here then we have our instruction manual for our pen and the other products, and then the pen that's sat within there. So first impressions, beautiful looking pen. It's not the colour that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a brighter, sort of more turquoise than this actually, when looking at the pictures online. As I say, I ordered this from Cult Pens at a discount, but I did go through the ordering process of this from Cult Pens, and very pleased as always with their service. But to say, the colour, I was expecting it to be bright. I was expecting it to be more green than blue. This really is, I hope it comes across. I think it does seem to be coming across as the right colour. It, you know, it is a blue. But I suppose that would be, as the name would suggest really, it's called Blue Ocean. So there you go. So this is the Ambition. So let's give you some stats about this. So measurements wise, with the cap it's 139 millimetres as you're looking at it right now. Without the cap it's 121 from the tip of the nib to the end here, and posted it's 156 millimetres. It does post very well. I'll show you that in a moment. Weight wise, fairly sort of standard, I would say, as far as the weight of this pen is concerned. 28 grams, not particularly heavy, not a lightweight pen, but half of that weight is this cap. So when you take this cap off, it is just 14 grams in weight. So what we're looking at here is a pen that's, this barrel here has been made from a matte turquoise resin, and it really is matte to a point where it feels almost sort of cardboard or wood-like. It's very, very soft. Lovely sort of feel to it. It's warm, it's not cold, it's, you know, it's a beautiful sort of, and there's a texture to it as well. You can feel this sort of guilloche design, this engraved guilloche design that's on here. Cylindrical barrel, and it's very modern looking, I think, is what I sort of see. It's very it is a very modern looking pen. The chrome cap and the chrome end here really go well with this, and it is a design, you know, it's part of the design of the Ambition range. I think it complements it extremely well. So if we have a look at a little closer, so we have just here on the side we have the Faber Castell logo, again since 1761, and a clip. Great clip, really functional, sturdy, solid clip that's sort of part of, not one that's been sort of added in and sort of twists around. This is a very solid clip. Can you see that design there? It's almost like it's like a navy blue behind, and then it's got this really pale ocean blue engraving that's sort of come through it then. And it makes for a very pretty, very, it stands out. This pen for me stands out. And I say just a round end from there. And you notice it's sort of stepped down, and the reason for being is exactly this now. So the cap just comes off, just pops off, and it really does clip on with a click, and then you'll hear it now here even when I post it. That is secure. You actually have to, it's a bit of pressure to get that off there. Personally, as far as posting it is concerned, I wouldn't choose to do so. Reason being, as I said, this cap is half the weight of the whole pen. So this is 14 grams of weight that I'm putting right to the end of the pen, which makes this a very, very back top heavy pen. So I'm writing with it and I can feel the weight at the back here pushing on the top of my hand, and it's not pleasant for me. So I wouldn't choose to post it. If you like the weight of the back, then you know, absolutely go ahead and do so. It's certainly designed to be able to be posted. Right, so this is where this pen is a little, I suppose, bizarre in its design. Maybe bizarre is a wrong word, but certainly different, and it takes some getting used to. It was like the first time I came across a Pilot capless or vanishing point, and you know, it's finding that right position to be able to write with it in. And this is one of those pens. So if you have a look, there's this step down here, this sort of cut out from the barrel to this very short grip section, made again in this chrome. So the trim sort of follows through. The only concern with that is it's not big enough to put your fingers on, because what you've got is part of your finger there and part of your finger on the barrel of the pen itself, which makes it sort of fairly uncomfortable when holding for a long time. However, it is a matter of sort of finding a way to write with it. So I've been able to write with holding my grip further up the pen, so actually my fingers are on the barrel of the pen rather than the grip section of the pen, which works well enough for me. If your fingers were shorter, maybe if my nails were shorter, then it would work just holding it down here, it would be okay. For short periods of writing, it is uncomfortable, but if I was going to journal for any length of time, then I wouldn't be able to hold it down there. I would need to be alternating my grip as I'm sort of going along, I think. Well, no, I know, because I've done some journaling with this. So let's have a look at this nib. And for me, this is the best feature of this pen. Sorry about the ink on my hands. It's been a very busy day as far as ink is concerned. So this is a steel nib available from extra fine right up to broad. And it has this lovely sort of speckled pattern on it. And it has the EF there. And then down the bottom, the Faber Castell logo. It is a wonderful nib. I absolutely love this nib, and this is what is making me, I suppose, very much like I did with the, let me have a look in closer, very much in the same way that I did with the Pilot capless and the vanishing point. I wanted to find a way to write well with it, and I did, and it's now just natural. And with this is no different. I want to be able to use this pen because I love the way it looks. I absolutely love the way that it feels putting the nib to paper. It's a very smooth pen, and it's a nice line for an extra fine nibbed pen. It's quite hard, however, I like that. I like to feel it's got a bit of feedback, but it is smooth. It's a very pleasurable experience, and I love them. And I'm now very tempted and looking forward to the opportunity at some point to be able to try one of the gold nibs to see how they compare, because if this is a steel nib and this is how well this writes, then I'd love to see how a gold nib writes. So I am definitely persevering with finding that perfect grip to be able to write well with this pen. Fair enough, it may not be for everybody. People might not think that, you know, you have to find a way to do that. You know, it should be sort of comfortable. However, they're going for something that looks different. And if this isn't for you, there are other pens within the range that, you know, have the same nib and the same quality of nib, so that'll be something that I'll be looking at. But for me, it's the right weight and it's the right balance of pen for me, and as I say, the nib writes very, very well. It is comparable, the nib and width line, which I'll show you now. So what we've got now is the Faber Castell. This is the Ambition, and this is the limited edition or the special edition Blue Ocean. As I said, this is the extra fine nib, and for those of you wondering, this ink is Kaweco Paradise Blue. This is a cartridge in here, so this is international size cartridges. You can buy a converter. Actually, Cult Pens were out of stock of the converter at the time. My only sort of thing would, you know, I'd sort of expect it to come with one really as standard, but it doesn't come with a converter. It's something you'd have to purchase separately. And the Faber Castell converter is available for about sort of £4 or so, but there wasn't one available at the time. But I actually quite like using a cartridge in it, you know, I have no issue with that, and it just sort of means I'm starting to explore a little more with cartridge use rather than sort of filling up some of the bottles now. As I said, smooth nib, lovely line, and it is very much comparable to a Lamy extra fine nib and with a Kaweco extra fine nib. How does it compare to those? Difficult for me to say, sort of honestly, I suppose, because I've tried a lot more Kaweco pens and I've tried a lot more Lamy pens, and there are some nibs that are better than others. There are definitely some inconsistencies with the quality of the nibs within those. This is one of only three Kaweco Faber Castell pens that I've tried, but they went back a long time. I don't remember any issues with any of those, to be honest. So it could be that maybe this is more consistent, that the line is more consistent and the nib is more consistent. Literally, I opened the box, I put a cartridge in it, and it wrote straight out of the box. Line variation, if you put a bit of pressure on it, you can get some from it. I love this ink, by the way. These are just cartridges. I think I might have to get a bottle of this. But I do like this ink, and there's definitely some shading available there. I don't think there's really anything more for me to say on that. I like it, but probably a bit of a Marmite sort of pen, love it or hate it because of that grip section. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, any experience you've had with Faber Castell pens, and suggestions on sort of any others to sort of try from there. And I will speak to you all again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.